Hello, everyone. My name is Cherrelle Penn. This is my second semester in the MFT program, and pretty much aside to the genogram assignment, this has to be one of the most challenging assignments that I did have to do. With this assignment, I knew that we had to select a culture that we didn't understand or that we lacked knowledge on. As I watched the genogram assignments go forth, I noticed that one of our classmates presented on her country, and it pretty much showed how the women wore hijabs, and it kind of brought back a lot of different memories. Just being in school and watching the different women wearing the hijabs over their faces. So I was like, I think I want to go ahead and do a little bit more research on that. So that's how I ended up doing my assignment on Muslims and with a focus on Muslim women. Pretty much a hijab, for those who may not know. Hijab is like a form of a scarf that the women kind of wear over their heads. There are different ones, which I'll kind of get into a little bit later, that's worn over their faces. Some are, fully covered the whole body. Some are just covering the whole face with just the eyes showing, and some of them pretty much just cover the head and has a whole face showing. So I kind of get into that a little bit later. Um, Once again, they I watch a lot of movies, and my son's school coming up, women who used to wear them over their heads, and it really bothered me to see this. I always believed that these women were treated unequally, and I believed that it wasn't fair for them to have to cover up their beauty. I thought of these women as being brainwashed. I saw them as being unhappy, and really, kind of slaves to men. As I conducted my research on the Muslim faith, um, I realized that it pretty much derived from Islam, and because of I heard of Muslims also in the past, I was like, okay, well, Muslim, the women wear hijab, so let me just go ahead and do it on both. So I kind of mesh it together. So just to kind of jump right into it, Islam pretty much is an Arabic word meaning peace, security, and surrender. A person who believes and follows the faith of Islam is called a Muslim. A Muslim has a belief that by participating in their faith through submission to God, they can ultimately achieve peace and security in their lives. This is somewhat like of the Christianity faith, which I share. Pretty much we share the common belief, that if we surrender ourselves to God and if we follow the teachings of the Bible, with Muslims is the Quran, which you probably have already seen in the PowerPoint, then pretty much that we'll attain the desires of our hearts through Him, and that we'll live a worry-free life. We also believe as Christians that Jesus lived and He died on earth, and whosoever believes in Him will have eternal life. So Muslims are really found to be very humble and spiritual people. Through my research and through my interview, I found that they're hard workers. They take care of their families. They help their neighbors. They help the poor. They really have a lot of humility, and I just really grown to appreciate them even the more. The young lady that I did have the pleasure of speaking with has been a Muslim for quite a few years, and pretty much she converted over to the Muslim faith after she moved to a different country. Um, I noticed that she was very humble, very loving, very open, wasn't afraid to share what she thought or her beliefs, which you guys will see in the interview, which is towards the end of the PowerPoint. Um, Kind of a source of my prejudice, which I kind of shared a little bit. Um, I really thought, true confession is good for the soul. I really thought, like, kind of growing up, like in middle school and high school, I used to see the young girls used to, cover their faces, And even as an adult, like if walking down the street, like if I see that, I kind of felt bad. I felt really bad for the women, and I really felt like they were doing something outside of their own will. Little did I know that there was actually a deeper and a stronger meaning for them really wearing hijabs. Pretty much it represents modesty, it represents humility towards God and also to other people. So, really they covered up themselves, where they cover themselves, for them, they really don't believe that, they have to show off so much of themselves. And, they believe that kind of like, covering up, like, it's okay. It doesn't mean that they're beautiful or that they're not beautiful or that they're less than. It's just a part of their faith. It's just a part of their beliefs, which I learned to understand. And I found that not only Muslim women wear hijabs, really kind of women all over, different countries, which I was really surprised to find out. Just to kind of name a few. I found like, in Afghan, Iran, Egypt, Syria, and Turkey, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Pacific, and just so many more different countries. The women wear the hijabs over themselves. So just to kind of get into a little bit more, as I talked about in the beginning. So the burqa, if I'm pronouncing it the correct way, pretty much it covers the the entire body, including the face. So when you do see the women with their full body covered, it's called a burqa. And the niqab, basically it covers the entire face, but it leaves only the eyes exposed. So that's the niqab. The hijab pretty much just covers the head, and it just leaves just the face exposed. The rest of their body is exposed. They have a choice. It's up to them if they want to wear their regular clothes, which is something that I saw in school, or if they actually really wanted to cover up a little bit more, they're able to do that as well, and wear the actual hijab. Um, I also found, contrary to my belief, my preconceived ideas, the women are equal to men. They're not beneath them. They share, equal rights. They're fully entitled to get an education, to work, to own their own businesses. They have access to inheritances, from their families. Also, which is something that I thought was really awesome that I learned, was that the women, they're free to work, their choice, and to earn a living, but they're not obligated to support themselves through those earnings. So, me being a woman in America, I work, I pay bills, I have to support myself, I have to support my child. So it's just really awesome to learn that Muslim women, they don't have to do that. Their food, their shelter, everything is taken care of. So pretty much they work, for themselves, like a pleasure thing. So I thought that was really cool. Not only Muslim women from different countries, I'm sorry, even the ones that live here in the United States. So I thought that was really, really cool for me to learn about them. Um, on my slide, you'll also see something. It's like it's a slide that I have posted up. It's like a woman in a bathing suit, and she has like black sunglasses. And then there's a woman wearing a burqa, which pretty much covers her whole body. And pretty much it says on there, on the woman's side that was wearing the bikini, says everything covered but her eyes. What a cruel male-dominated culture. And then the woman, with herself covered up, basically says nothing covered but her eyes. What a cruel, dominated male culture. So as I saw that, I was like, wow, we all have these preconceived ideas. We all have our own thoughts. We all have our own beliefs. But if we kind of step outside of ourselves and kind of look more into the other culture, look into the other perspective, we'll be able to gain a broader understanding of them, and we won't, form these ideas in our head, or even like me, myself, I wouldn't believe that, these women are beneath men, or they're covering up their beauty, they're being mistreated, if we don't never step outside of ourselves and kind of take a look at the other side of it, we will never know, and we'll have these preconceived ideas about things that really aren't fully true. So I thought that was really good for me. You guys can take a look at that slide and kind of post your thoughts on that. Something else that I actually really saw in there was what I actually really learned, which is very interesting, not only through the interview, but also interesting through my research, was that in pre-Islamic Arabia, the birth of a girl in a family was kind of a shame. And the family pretty much went into mourning when they found out that they, had a daughter, that they had a girl. And they pretty much hid themselves from the communities. Many of the girls were buried alive in infancy. So the ones that did survive, they pretty much were sold. They were traded. Kind of once they got to a certain age, they were married off. Some of them became slaves. So I thought it was kind of really sad, and not only for Muslim cultures, or in Islam, many different countries I've heard of, that women had to go through, and they had to endure these type of things, and it's not really their fault because they were born a woman. But I saw it, I was like, wow, like I kind of, didn't know. And just to see how things can change so much, just even today, as a woman, it's not really a bad thing to be born a woman. We share these equal rights to men, and in Islam, it's actually, they've come a very, very long way to even be at the point where women have equal rights to men, and they're able to work, they're able to go to school, they're able to make a living for themselves. I thought it was really good. It was really good to learn about them. I really do have a passion for learning more about women, and I just really believe that this assignment really helped me out a lot. It helped me out a lot to really kind of put my biases and my prejudice, in check. Because in the future, when I do assist women who are of the Muslim faith, I'll be able to pretty much help them, or on a different level, and kind of understand them a little bit more, instead of me automatically believing that that they're beneath men, or believing that that they're less fortunate, or having different ideas already in my head. I'll kind of be able to be more open um, to learn more about them, and even if they want to discuss their faith, I'll be able to learn more about that. Even through the interview, I was able to kind of touch more on, my faith with the person. I was able to connect with them on a different level. So I thought that was really good for me, to even be able to share, and to know that this person kind of went through, or is still going through some of the things that I have went through concerning my faith, and concerning my walk with God. So, but you'll be able to see, also, like I said, on the PowerPoint, some of the interview questions and answers that were received, some of the feedback that I received as well. Um, so I'm just really, like I said, I'm really grateful for this assignment. I'm grateful to have been able to done, so much research on the Muslim faith and the women, and yeah, I'm just really grateful for it, and I hope you guys really kind of enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys really take a look at the slides as well. There's a lot of great information concerning the concerning Muslims and their faith, and as well as some things that I wasn't even able to touch on through this video. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you and have a good evening.